my name is Sujata and today this is what we're making. We are making a simple yet delicious tomato and mozzarella cheese salad. It's going to be quick. It's going to take you less than 10 minutes to make the salad. It's going to be simple with ingredients that are very easily available. And yes, of course, it's going to be delicious. So I'm using many different types of tomatoes. Let's get started. And of course, to get more recipes, do subscribe, come and join me here weekly, and I can't share lots with you. Let's begin. To make the salad, I'm going to be using 1 kilo of tomatoes, and you just use a different variety of tomatoes, whatever you have where you're living. Now I'm using some larger red tomatoes. I've got some smaller red tomatoes, the medium-sized ones. I've got the cherry tomatoes. I've got orange tomatoes, yellow tomatoes. Just use what you have where you are. And what we're going to do is just firstly start by cutting these up. And I don't want you to cut them up, into one specific shape. Just cut them up into a variety of different shapes. That's what makes this salad really, really special, is that it just depends on what you feel like cutting. So some might be slices, some might be cut up as cubes. You might have the cherry tomatoes just as halves. So just cutting up all the tomatoes, and then what we're going to do is add in the dressing, and lastly what we will do is then add in the mozzarella cheese and put on some fresh dill. So just taking your time and cutting the tomatoes. Let's do that. Next, let's get started and make the dressing. To make the dressing, I'm just going to take, maybe it's about 10 or 12 basil leaves, and just chop them up quite finely. So just on the chopping board, chop it up, and we're going to make a simple dressing with chopped up basil leaves, some olive oil, and some lemon juice, and into that we're just going to add in salt and pepper. I don't need to add too much into this dressing because the tomatoes are juicy, and over time they're just going to release their very fragrant flavors, their juices, and this is also going to be adding to the dressing. So just chopping up the basil leaves very finely. I would recommend, if you can, instead of just buying the leaves, could you buy a small pot of the basil leaves? Keep it by your kitchen window or just some place where you can have it grow. So this way it doesn't get spoiled quickly and you can use it over a few weeks. Just a quick, easy, simple tip to save money. Now just taking the basil leaves and just putting them into a bowl. So just adding these into a small bowl. Do you not find that the colorful containers, plates, bowls make you enjoy your cooking? They definitely do for me. So I've got the basil leaves here into this, just a small half of a lemon squeezed into it, and then we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil. I'm not adding much olive oil into this dressing because actually we're using mozzarella cheese, so it's already got some healthy fats in it. We don't need too many other fats in it. So I'm just adding the olive oil just for some flavor into it, but you don't need too much. So this is 1 teaspoon of olive oil that goes in. Then I have got some sea salt. So just some sea salt to taste, and don't use too much because the cheese itself is quite salty as well. And then just either grinding some black pepper or just adding some ground up black pepper to it. So just, again, to taste, mix this up, and voila, it is now ready. So this is all ready now, and then so it's just giving it a mix. And then you can always add some more lemon juice as needed. If you do need some more, please do just add it in. And I just pour this on top of the tomatoes. So what do we do next? We are just going to mix this in. Really just mixing it in, and it's just going to add to the flavor of the tomatoes. You don't need too much salt, as I said, because the cheese is salty. Something that, you know, we can just begin to reduce over time is salt, and the food will still taste as nice. Now you can see the tomatoes are already giving their juices out. So, you know, even though I didn't add a lot of dressing, we can see, you know, there's a lot of juice towards the bottom of the bowl. So this is now ready. All I do, you can either cut it up with your hand or just cut it up with your knife. I'll just use my knife here and just put in the mozzarella into the cheese. I'm just going to put it on top and then mix it up just before serving. Let me just slice it and then I'll just cut it up with my hands. So just cutting it up into slices. And what I've got here is about 250 grams of drained mozzarella cheese. So just putting this on the tomatoes. So that goes on. And we'll just mix it in before serving. And this is for about 8 to 10 people to have as a side salad. So this is it now. And then what I'm going to do is just take some dill and just cut some dill leaves and just place them on top. So just a little bit of dill on the top for the flavor, and also just to make it look nice and colorful as well. Just adds a bit of freshness and flavor into it. So just adding some dill leaves on the top. And when you're ready to have your salad, just give it a mix and have your salad as a side salad to accompany your main meal. Enjoy the recipe, and yes, of course, for more recipes and health tips, do remember to like and subscribe. See you again soon. Bye-bye.